Hello and welcome to this new tutorial, the final tutorial of this implementation just before the demo in the next tutorial. So, in this final one, we're going to implement the sell atcoins function because indeed we offer the buyback option to our investors so that we can buy some atcoins back and therefore the investors can get their money back. Okay, so to make this final function, which will be another future action in my Ether wallet, well, we will do this the most efficient way because indeed it will look like this function. We'll have a few things to change, not only variable names, but you'll see it's going to be pretty similar. So I'm copying this, just this way, copy, and right here, I'm pasting this previous function we made. All right, a red flag here because we have the same function by atcoins, but this one is going to be called, of course, sell atcoins. Sell atcoins. So let's go through each line one by one and see what we need to change. So first line here, well, it takes, of course, the address of the investor. Investor is the name of the variable, address is the type of the variable, and it's taking another argument. However, it's not going to take the USD invested because this time we don't have to invest any dollars to buy some atcoins because we want to sell them. But since we're selling some atcoins, well, we need to specify how many atcoins we want to sell. And therefore, very simply, the second argument here will not be the USD invested, but let's call it the atcoins. And then, for example, sold, or atcoins to sell, as you want. But that's basically the number of atcoins the investor wants to sell. And that's an unsigned integer again, because of course, we're not playing with atcoin cents. So atcoin sold, there we go, we have our two arguments, still external, we're outside of the contract, so all good for this first line. Now, second line. So the second line is, remember, using our modifier, which will check if the investor can buy some atcoins. So here, of course, it's totally irrelevant because we don't need to check that we can buy some atcoins if we're selling the atcoins. So I'm just removing this and I'm putting the bracket right here in the previous line to start the function. And here, that's where we start defining the function. All right, so now this line, what do we have to do? Well, first of all, we will need to do exactly the same, and that's why I copied this code section here. We will need to do exactly the same in this sell atcoins function, that is to update these three variables, that is the equity in atcoins of the investor, the equity in USD of the investor, and the total atcoins bought. So what we're going to do is start with the first one. How do we update the equity in atcoins of the investor right after he just sold some of his atcoins? Well, this time it's really simple. We don't even need to do an operation first because to update basically the number of atcoins of the investor in his wallet, in his equity, well, we just need to decrement it. So here it's not a plus equal, but a minus equal by, not the atcoins bought, of course, but the atcoin sold. Right here, atcoin sold. Okay, we just decremented it by atcoin sold so that we get the new updated value of the equity in atcoins of the investor. And therefore, we don't need this anymore. So I'm removing this, and there we go. First variable successfully updated. Now, let's move on to the second variable. How do we update the equity in USD of the investor? Well, please say it before me. What I want to say is, of course, my classic good news, because indeed, we don't have to update anything here. The equity in USD can simply be obtained by dividing the equity in atcoins by 1000. And that's already what we do here. Therefore, job done for the second variable. And now the third variable, total atcoins bought, is incremented here by the atcoins bought. So first of all, the atcoins bought don't exist anymore. So removing this. And so now what do we have to do? What do we have to do to update the total number of atcoins bought by all the investors, including this one we're dealing with right now? Well, very simply, right after he sold or she sold his or her atcoins, well, we will need to decrement the total number of atcoins bought by all the investors by, what is it going to be? Well, very simply, of course, the atcoin sold. So I'm just copying this and I'm decrementing the total number of atcoins bought by all the investors by the number of atcoins sold by this specific investor. Okay, and now I'm going to say it again. Good news again, it is time for the demo. So we're done with our whole implementation. You know, that's the end here of this function, sell at coins, and this bracket here is the end of the contract. We are done with our contract. You can actually practice to add any other functions you want, which will give you some other actions in MyEtherWallet. So for example, if you know some crypto trading platforms, you can just look at them and see what you're able to do in these platforms to implement here some other functions and therefore actions. I encourage you to practice this, but we have the essential tools here for me to show you how we can now interact with a smart contract, which will be in MyEtherWallet and Ganache, and mostly we have the essential tools to run a successful ICO.